I think one of the things that's fascinating about the pluralism of the world that we live in is that there's no longer any sense that there's one right answer or that there's any one wrong answer. And so students, no matter what they end up doing in their lives, are going to have to contend with a whole bunch of competing value systems.
In my philosophy class, one of the things we look at is with Plato and Aristotle, and they have kind of two very different visions of how one knows the world. And as we look ahead, we might have the same sort of question for ourselves. What do we think is the best approach? Do we need top-down planning, or do we need kind of ground-up, experience from the ground up as a way of confronting world problems?
Career development isn't just a series of requirements you fulfill. It's not just one way of problem solving. There's so many different things you have to bring to that. And so I think the core curriculum really helps give students those skills to ask the questions they need to ask about their future, to ask questions about vocation and employers and values that really helps them to become whole people.
So Fordham's core curriculum actually goes back to 1599. And over 400 years ago, the Society of Jesus decided to focus on a new way of doing teaching, a new way of doing learning. And it's a way that takes seriously that core Jesuit insight that truth and value and meaning and even God can be found in all things.
And the Jesuit Catholic pedagogy allows a deeper reflection in terms of one's spiritual life as well. And I think that that's key, understanding one's spiritual and natural life and social life and cultural life in this multidisciplinary way.
Well, I think an important part of a Jesuit education is that spirituality piece. And I think that helps students to, when that's added into scientific inquiry and social science and history and literature, it gives students one more dimension.
And so I think as students transition into the world of work, what they have to think about is a way of taking seriously whatever the factors are that are in their environment. Students at Fordham learn that what you might think about as an isolated area is really integrated into a much larger whole.
It doesn't matter if you're going into a particularly altruistic field or not. You bring your sense of value, you bring your spirituality.
And so I think there's a really integrative sense of what's happening in the core curriculum here at Fordham.